On the eve of the cuts in capacity at the 40 airports that have been identified by the FAA, I'm just wondering your thoughts on what we're about to witness here and what this is going to mean for safety and for airline customers. We're understanding about 100,000 of them could be impacted.
Well, as far as safety goes, are the skies safe? Absolutely. They are safe, and air traffic controllers are still doing a great job. They're showing up and they're doing a very, very good job. Are there going to be delays? Absolutely. There's going to be delays. And obviously, by cutting back on the number of flights to these airports, it's going to impact folks. It's going to have an impact on the holiday travel season, and it's just not good. We're seeing a little bit of, obviously, a lot of fatigue, or a little bit more fatigue in air traffic controllers. It's a very stressful job to begin with. And now you throw on top, not getting a paycheck coming around the second time. It's putting a tremendous amount of stress on those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Congressman, is this going to be one of those pressure points that ultimately leads to reopening the government? What is the political calculus at this point when we're expecting thousands of flights to be canceled come tomorrow?
Well, I hope it does end it. And there's a real simple way to do that. If we can just get the Senate to vote on a clean CR and pass it. Obviously, they have voted, 14, 15 times. And Senator Schumer continues to refuse to let the government open. If we can just get the government open through the CR, then we can negotiate all of these points that he wants to talk about. And we can stop all of this madness that we're seeing and that the public is having to endure.
Well, Chairman Graves, I know that you are also a pilot yourself, and for folks who are with us right now on Bloomberg TV or on YouTube, I'm looking at the photographs that are hanging behind you in the office. Kind of caught off by the shot, though. It looks like maybe a Piper Cub and a Stearman. I can't quite tell. You can correct me on that, but I'm just wondering if you'd get in an airplane and take off now as a private pilot, or what that would mean in the throes of closing airspace.
It's not going to have too much impact on GA, on general aviation aircraft. Most of the airports that GA and corporate aircraft fly into are not going to be impacted unless they're in an area like within the Dallas-Fort Worth area or something like that. So it's not going to have a tremendous amount of impact on general aviation.
Congressman, is the FAA going to have to incentivize air traffic controllers to come back to work even after the government reopens? We are seeing reports that many have taken other jobs, second jobs, and we know that this has been an issue that's been plaguing the industry, as you alluded to in your first answer, at this point for years in this country. Is there something else that the government can do to ensure that these workers do come back into work even after the shutdown's resolved?
I think they'll come back. I don't think they're going to leave the profession. Look, these are very professional individuals, and they know how important that their job is. And the fact of the matter is they're showing up and doing the work even now. The bigger problem is the shortage of air traffic controllers that we had prior to the shutdown. Yeah. And the good news is, though, is the president and the secretary have both, they're fully engaged in this. And we've seen for the first time in a very long time, all the seats filled at the Academy. They filled all 2,000 openings at the Academy. So we've controllers in the pipeline moving forward. And it's just going to take some time to train them up, because we don't want to shortchange or sacrifice any safety whatsoever when it comes to training air traffic controllers. But we've got a lot of good ones coming.
I know this is so important, Mr. Chairman. We've got a new generation of air traffic controllers. I guess at some point we'll have a pretty wide bench. Do they need to be paid more? They're essential workers. Should there be language in legislation that requires them to be paid in a shutdown? We've only got about a minute left.
Well, the fact of the matter is it should be, and they're the ones that always end up being the pawns in this process. And we see it happen time and time and time again. They are essential workers, and I think they should be paid as essential workers. And again, all we got to do is stop the shutdown and reopen the government, pass the clean CR, and then we can negotiate.